My dear listener, let me invite you into a gentle reflection. A journey that begins not in youth, but in the quiet, golden hours of life when many imagine happiness has faded. Yet I stand before you, 85 years old, and I say with a heart overflowing with peace that I am happier now than I have ever been. And perhaps you are curious. Perhaps you are wondering how such a thing is possible when the body is slower, when the face is lined, when the world moves so quickly that it sometimes feels as though it has forgotten us. But that is exactly why I want to share with you the lessons I have gathered, the secrets that do not belong to me alone, but to anyone who dares to embrace them. For joy does not retire, fulfillment does not age, and purpose does not vanish simply because the candles on the cake are harder to count. And so together, let us walk gently into these 6 secrets that have made my later years not a season of decline, but of renewal, wisdom, and quiet contentment. The first secret, my friend, is gratitude. And I cannot begin anywhere else because gratitude is the soil in which all joy grows. At 85, I do not wake longing for the years behind me, but instead I wake with thanks for the breath in my lungs, the warmth of the sun on my window, the memories that visit me like old companions, and the people, both near and far, who still bless my days with love. Gratitude is not simply a habit. It is a lens through which the world becomes softer and brighter. For I have learned that when I focus on what is lost, sorrow deepens. But when I turn my heart to what remains, happiness multiplies. And so each morning I whisper a prayer of thanks, sometimes for something as simple as a cup of tea or the song of a bird. And in those moments, I realize that joy is not hiding in distant mountains or forgotten years. It is here now in the smallest gifts, waiting patiently to be noticed. I encourage you, whether you are young or old, to begin your days with gratitude. Write it down, speak it aloud, or hold it quietly in your heart. For when you do, life itself becomes a gift unwrapped again and again. And you will see, as I have, that even in the wrinkles of age there is beauty. Even in the passing of time there is grace. The second secret is curiosity. The willingness to remain a student of life. No matter how many seasons you have walked through, for the moment we stop learning, we begin to shrink. And I have chosen instead to expand, to keep asking questions, to keep seeking answers, to keep opening new doors. And I assure you, my dear listener, that this keeps the heart young and the mind sharp. At 85, I still read, I still try new recipes, I still wrestle with the mysteries of technology, laughing at myself when I press the wrong button, but also smiling at the joy of discovery. Curiosity fills the days with freshness, as though each sunrise carries not just light, but also lessons. And the happiest elders I know are those who never surrendered their wonder, who still pause at the sight of a blooming flower or the sparkle of a star and say, "How marvelous!" For when you keep your curiosity alive, you keep your spirit alive and life never grows stale. I urge you, no matter your age, to never let go of learning, for as long as you are breathing, the world has something to teach you. And the more curious you remain, the more happiness will find you. The third secret is relationships. And if gratitude and curiosity nourish the self, it is love and connection that bind us to the world. For at 85, I have discovered that joy is never truly complete unless it is shared. Wealth fades, possessions lose their shine, but a laugh with a friend, a phone call from a child, or a hug from a grandchild are treasures that only grow in value as time passes. Loneliness, I will admit, can cast a heavy shadow in old age, for many companions are gone. Many loved ones live far away, and silence sometimes lingers longer than it should. But that is exactly why nurturing relationships is essential to happiness. I make time for conversations, for writing letters, for simple visits, for waving to neighbors, for sitting across the table from those I love and listening, truly listening, because I have learned that relationships are not measured in grand gestures but in presence, in attention, in kindness shared moment by moment. If you wish to be happy at any age, cherish your people. Forgive quickly, love deeply, and stay connected, for when we leave this world, it will not be our possessions that are remembered, but the warmth we gave and the love we carried. The fourth secret is movement. And though this body of mine does not run as it once did, it still carries me forward. And I celebrate that gift daily. You see, happiness is tied to how alive the body feels, and even the gentlest motion awakens the spirit. I walk slowly, perhaps, but steadily, greeting the trees and the birds along my path, stretching my arms to welcome the morning sun. And in those movements, I feel not old, but alive, not weak, but strong. For movement is not about speed or competition. It is about honoring the vessel that carries you through this life. I encourage you, whether you are 85 or 35, to move each day, to dance in your kitchen, to garden with your hands in the soil, to stretch and breathe and feel the rhythm of your body. For when the body moves, the mind brightens, the heart lifts, and joy flows more freely. I have learned that every step, no matter how small, is a declaration that life still pulses through us, and that is reason enough to rejoice. The fifth secret is simplicity, and perhaps this is the one I treasure most in these later years. For simplicity is freedom, the gentle release of what no longer serves you, the quiet acceptance that less can indeed be more. I own fewer things now, and each one has meaning. I chase fewer desires, and each day feels lighter, and I hold fewer grudges, and each moment tastes sweeter. When I was younger, I gathered possessions, I carried grudges, I worried endlessly about things that in truth never mattered. But at 85, I see more clearly. I see that joy does not come from cluttered rooms or crowded schedules, but from stillness, from clarity, from choosing to focus on what is essential. Simplicity is letting go of bitterness, because forgiveness brings peace. It is letting go of envy, because contentment brings rest. It is letting go of what others think, because freedom comes when you live honestly. Happiness, I have found, is not about filling your life with more, but about making space for what matters most, and in that space, joy blossoms quietly, steadily, like a flower opening to the sun. The sixth and final secret is purpose, and if the others are stepping stones, this is the ground beneath them all. For purpose is what wakes me each morning with a reason to rise, what fills my hours with meaning, and what makes me feel not merely alive, but truly needed. Purpose at 85 does not mean grand achievements or world-changing projects, though some may find it there, but more often it lives in the small acts. The humble offerings, tending a garden, writing stories for grandchildren, sharing wisdom with a neighbor, offering a kind word to a stranger, praying for those in need. Purpose is not about scale, it is about meaning. And when your life has meaning, every day feels like a gift. Every breath feels sacred. Without purpose, time can feel heavy. But with purpose, even the simplest tasks shine with joy. And I have found that this is the secret not only to happiness in old age, but to happiness at any age. For when you know why you rise each morning, you rise with strength, with peace, and with a heart ready to give. So, my dear friend, here we stand at the close of this reflection, and I ask you, what is the secret to happiness at 85 or at any age? It is not wealth, for wealth fades. It is not youth, for youth slips away. It is not perfection, for perfection is an illusion. It is gratitude, curiosity, love, movement, simplicity, and purpose. woven together into a life that is not about adding more years, but about adding more life to the years you are given. And so I say to you, happiness is not behind you, nor is it waiting in some distant future. It is here now in your breath, in your relationships, in your choices, in your purpose, waiting for you to notice it. If you take only one thing from my words, let it be this: joy is not bound by age. It does not wither with time, it is eternal, waiting to be found in the smallest moments, in the quietest mornings, in the deepest loves. May you carry these 6 secrets with you. May you practice them not someday, but today. And may you discover, as I have, that happiness has no age, and that even at 85, life can be brighter, fuller, and more beautiful than ever before.